in 2006, I actually went to I started volunteering at Trevano, a garden quite close to, not too far away from where I live, but unfortunately it's closed down now. Well, it's not. It's private now. Excuse me, because one of the owners wanted his retirement money, and the only way he could get it was for them to sell the place, which is a shame. It was a lovely place to work. I worked with some really nice people that I got on really well with, and we had a really good working relationship, and we had a great laugh and that, and talking about music and sorts of stuff, and it was really good. But yeah, sadly it closed down, and no one would buy it as a business. It's now private, as I say. And I worked there till 2012, and that was a really nice place to work. But after that closed down, I not a little while after that, I started working at Godolphin House, the National Trust property, in even closer to where I live. And that again, that's a really nice place to work. I work with really nice people, and the people that they're really nice. And again, I'm accepted. They appreciate the hard work I do. They like to make sure all their volunteers are happy in what they're doing, and that. So yeah, it's a good friendly environment. And so in 2005, I actually had a social worker briefly. Believe it or not, it's hard to believe. They're so hard to get hold of these days. And he helped me with two really important things. Well, firstly, he got me my house. My mum asked him, is there any chance of getting me a house? And he said, well, let's try. So, together they did. And I managed to get this 2-bedroom bungalow where I live in Brieg, just down the road from my parents. They live in Ashton. So this is in Cornwall, England, for any of you that are watching and not aware of where it is. Yeah, because all the houses on my street, my cul-de-sac, if you like, St. Briaca Close, they were all built on the agreement that only local people could move in. So you have to live within a certain mile radius to be eligible to get one. And luckily there was only one other candidate, one other person that might have got it, but they decided they lived too far away. So they asked me if I wanted it, and I said yes. And that was, so yeah, I was really pleased. So I moved out in 2005. Also the same year, also thanks to my social worker, they were putting together a group of people with, excuse me, sorry about this, special needs and disabilities to be in the tallships race. And he recommended me for it. They wanted people that were able. He recommended me for it and thought I'd be really good at it. Thought it would suit me. I'd be really good at it, and that it would be good for me. And so someone came round to see me and talked to me about it, and then asked me if I'm interested. I said yes, absolutely. And it was from Cherbourg Waterford in Ireland to Cherbourg in France. Now, it was great. Apart from on the way to Ireland, I was sick as a dog. I mean, I've been laid up in bed with the flu for 4 days. Even just an hour of seasickness feels worse. It's just, for anyone that's ever been seasick, they'll know what I mean. It's just a whole nother level of being sick. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. And so, yeah, I slept most of the time during that time, because if I was asleep, then I couldn't feel it. So, and someone said to me, you missed a good sausage casserole last night. I said, I didn't miss any. I said, maybe so, but I just couldn't eat. I picked up a forkful. I was about to try it, and then I had to run to the toilet again to be sick. I couldn't keep anything down. Not even stomach lining. That's how bad it was. But once I got over that, it's great. And Ireland really pulled out all the stops for us. They really, their hospitality was great. And we had a great time there. And the crew party was really fun. And I loved it. It was great. and we actually had to cut the race short because there was hardly any wind. So it was pathetic, really. So we were told to just turn. Everyone was told to turn their engines on and just drive the rest of the way. So, but which is a shame, really, because it kind of totally defeated the object. But so then we got to Cherbourg in France, and again it was good. I liked it in France. It's a lovely country to visit. I don't think, I think, you know, I think Ireland were more welcoming, and the crew party was definitely a lot better in Ireland, because the one in France, I didn't think much of the food, to be honest, which is very surprising for a foodie country like France, that my dad calls a foodie's paradise, which it is, because the French are renowned for good food. But yeah, I didn't think much of the food at the crew party there, and I didn't. So, and I didn't. I didn't think much. Yes, I didn't think much of that. And the DJ was so annoying. The music wasn't that loud, and he kept talking over the music, saying stuff like, "You like the sound of my voice, yes?" And I thought, no, I don't. It's so fucking annoying. But me and some of the other guys that I was in the race with, that were also on my ship, we left and went for a walk. We left and went for a walk, and then so that was all good, and yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was all good, and yeah. So I'm just trying to think, what else should I talk about? Oh yeah, I'm going to talk a bit about now, actually, what life is like now. Life's good. I haven't got a girlfriend, unfortunately. I wish I had, but I haven't had one for a long time, because I'll be honest, I find it really difficult to talk to girls and knowing what to say and that kind of thing. I have no problem with the physical side of things, like when I was in a club, under 18s night with a friend. I was on the pool, but I got my mate to ask me. I got my mate to ask for me because, I was too nervous and shy to do it myself. I had no problem, I mean, I wasn't nervous about actually getting off with someone. It was just, I was too shy to ask, and I did pull, luckily, at the end of the night, which was great. But anyway, yeah, it's just striking up a conversation and actually knowing what to say and talking to somebody, and that kind of thing, which I find difficult. But as I say, I've been in a relationship for nearly 8 years, and I know how to I can make a relationship work. And, it's like my mum says, and a friend from London has actually said it too, that I've got a lot of emotional intelligence, because some autistic people can't really feel empathy. They can't, they don't, they often don't notice when someone else is upset or they're not in a good mood. And, but I can, and maybe not all the time, but I can notice when something's not right with someone, when some other autistic people might not be able to, through no fault of their own. Obviously, it's not that they don't care, they just don't understand. They just can't see it. So anyway, so yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a girlfriend at the moment, but hopefully that would be change at some point. It'd be great to meet someone through a friend, but unfortunately, my friends don't know anyone like that they can introduce me to. But anyway, so I still work at Godolphin House at the National Trust property, and I really enjoy it there. Still good there. And I also work for a company called Tom Raffield as well, which makes steam bent They make steam bent handmade steam bent furniture from oak and bespoke lighting. And at the moment, what they're doing is making some kiosks that are going to serve coffee and snacks and stuff in London. There's going to be some in the parks with cladding, steam bent cladding, and they've been to Chelsea Flower Show, which I went this year, and I did. It was all right. I stayed there for like 2 hours, and then it just got too busy for my liking and too crowded, so I left. I mean, I'm okay with crowds. I can handle crowds. If it's something that I'm enjoying, but I wasn't enjoying it enough and it did get too crowded. And my mum actually contacted them and said that they should have some time where they allow autistic people who don't like crowds to come and have a look round to see it when it's quiet. And, excuse me, I'm sorry about this. Come and have a look round on their own when it's quiet and it's not full of crowds. So I just left and went and explored London a bit for the rest of the day until my train. So, but yeah, anyway, and also he was featured on Grand Designs because him and his wife, they built their house out of oak because they actually live. They built their house out of oak. They actually live near Trevano, just past the Trevano estate where I used to work. And because they've got a little cottage there which they use as a showroom, but they actually built the house. They built their house out of oak, with lots of steam bent cladding, and they were featured on Grand Designs. And they also he went on Chris Evans' show, Breakfast Show, I believe it was, and he actually made his wife, Chris Evans' wife, asked if they would make him a present and make him a product for his birthday, for Chris's birthday, which they did. And so yeah, again, that is a really nice place to work. He's a great boss. He's really good. He's a really good boss, really kind, caring, family man, and I get on with everyone that works there, and I really like working there. And I got that job because a friend of mine, who I've known since I was 4, she texted me saying that he wanted some wood chopping because he'd had 2 big chestnut trees taken down. So asked me if I'd do it, and I said, yeah, great. I thought it'd be a chance to earn some more money. And so I did, and I've been there. I think it was October 2 years ago, and I've been there since, and it's great because once a month we go to the pub and they buy us some drinks, and every month they hire a caterer, to come in and bring us food for lunch, and we have people get nominated for doing great work, and the winners get Prosecco at the monthly meeting. So it's a really nice place to work, and I really enjoy it. And I go to a social club for autistic people that's run by volunteers. It's run by mums that have autistic children in the group. And, it's a really nice place to go and socialise. I have good friends there, and I get on well with people there, and it's great for autistic people because it's the only one in Cornwall, I believe. It's there's not many groups like this that like mine, and I'm going there tonight actually, and I really like it, and it's really good for autistic people. But some of them who otherwise don't socialise much outside of it. So anyway, what else was I going to say? I was doing, I actually did a course set up by the National Autistic Society and the Cornwall Autism Partnership. I became a co-facilitator to give training to social workers in training that were going to help autistic people, that were going to work with autistic people, and it was really good. They said I always got positive feedback, and they said it was the best way to learn about autism, to actually hear personal stories from people like myself. And I was always being as honest as I could be, and really told my story, and it always went down well. And sometimes I do talks sometimes for parent groups as well, parents with autistic children. And again, I always get positive feedback, and they always like to hear my story, which is really good. And yeah, so what else was I going to say? But unfortunately, the council pulled the funding on the talks, so they wouldn't fund them anymore. Well, it's great, isn't it? Typical. They can fund the Penzance neighbourhood plan that did absolutely nothing to benefit Penzance, but they won't fund our talks that were vitally important and didn't cost that much. And it was really important for me and all the other co-facilitators that were doing it. But that's the government for you. That's cuts and more cuts. I'm gonna move on to the government. Actually, I'm going to talk a bit politics, because I think it's important. Because living in England, we have a Conservative government at the moment, as those of you also living in the UK will know. We have a scummy Conservative government who don't care about disabled people one bit. And due to cuts, as I say, they keep cutting services for disabled people, and that's really bad. Because since they came back into power, a lot of people like to criticise Labour, the last Labour government, and yes, there are things to criticise them about. Like Blair taking us to war, that was really bad. It's one of the worst things a Prime Minister can do. But he did a lot. There was a lot more good things that he did. He spent a lot more money on public services and actually on the people. Don't forget, David Cameron took us to war, but I don't hear anywhere near as many people slating him for that as they do Blair. But anyway, since they came back into power, Ian Duncan Smith and his horrible, harsh reforms have caused people to die. Disabled people have died because they couldn't get the benefit they needed. Right? Yeah, you, Ian Duncan Smith, I'm calling you a murderer. You murderous, you vile, murderous right-wing scumbag. You really are. You live off your wife's estate. You claim 35 quid for a breakfast, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Who the hell spends 35 quid on a breakfast? Where did he go? Fortnum and Mason or something? God, he's an absolute disgrace. Well, most of them are. But as I say, their harsh reforms have meant that people, some disabled people have lost all their money or their benefits. They've been sanctioned. Some of them have been deemed fit for work when they're blatantly not fit for work. Even some of them have been told by their doctor that they're not fit to work, yet they still got sanctioned. And that's really bad. That's partly why I despise them. I just despise their awful austerity. Making, as I've said in another video, I did another political rant, because what they did was they had a vote to cut ESA, employment support allowance, by 30 quid a week. So as far as I'm aware, the vote didn't go through because people made such a fuss about it, so they didn't go through with it. But they wanted to do it. They said they were doing it to give people an incentive to get a job. That was no way was that going to give disabled people an incentive to get a job. It was just going to take valuable money away from those that needed it, the most vulnerable in our society. Now, thankfully they didn't go through with it. Now, if you find go online and look at a list of all the MPs who voted in favour of the cut to ESA, voted to take valuable money away from people like myself, you'll see the name Derek Thomas on the list, and that is my MP. Now, like Ian Duncan Smith, I've got a really personal beef with him. He likes to go around pretending to be the caring Conservative. He likes to go around meeting and greeting disabled people, shaking their hands, smiling at them, pretending to care about their welfare, but he voted in favour of the cut to ESA. Yeah, some caring Conservative he is. He does nothing to help people like me. He's a creationist. He believes that God created the world, and he's a landlord, so he owns property. So outside of that, I don't think he really cares much. He certainly doesn't care about what interests me, that's for sure. He doesn't represent me. He's supposed to, but he's a Tory. He represents the rich. That's what the Tories stand for. They stand for that's what they're all about, make the rich richer and the poor poorer. And no Prime Minister did that more than David Cameron. So anyway, that's why I wanted to touch upon politics as well, because they're a disgrace. They're an absolute vile disgrace. And I also want to touch on I'm very anti-Brexit as well, as I've said in a video before. I'm not going to slate anyone who voted Leave for being a Brexiter. But what I would like to say is, and I hope people do listen to this and do take note of this, I would like to, for all those people, I just wish that people would realise that people like Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson, despite how much they might say, and despite how much they might want you to believe, they do not give a damn about your will. They only care about themselves. Nigel Farage made Brexit all about himself. It was never about the will of the people. It was always about himself. Now, I'll give you an example of this, right? This is just one example of him being the massive hypocrite that he is. He was on Question Time when they were in Blackpool, and they were talking about fracking because the government want to do lots of fracking around the Blackpool area, and pretty much, if not all of the residents are dead against it. They don't want it. But Farage says that they should want it. He thinks it's a good idea. He's very pro-fracking. Says it will bring lots of wealth and jobs to the area. He doesn't care about the fact that the residents, the locals, don't want it because he wants it. He thinks it's a good idea, so he thinks they should think it's a good idea because it's what he wants. Therefore, thus proving that he doesn't give a damn about the will of the people. He doesn't care about their will, what they want. The fact that they don't want fracking doesn't matter to him. He doesn't care about that. He only cares about what he wants. He says, don't defy the will of the people. The will of the people only matter to him where Brexit is concerned, because Brexit is what he wants. But honestly, some people really need to wake up and realise that he's just a self-serving toff elite. Just because he was seen with a fag and a pint in his hand doesn't mean he represents people that drink and everyone that drinks and smokes. Think of it like this, right? Imagine a big piece of cloth, right? Talk about people being cut from the same cloth, right? Imagine a big piece of cloth that's cutting pieces, it's cutting rich people, pieces being cut from the cloth that are rich people. One of those people being cut from the cloth is Nigel Farage. He was born into riches. He was privately educated. He's very rich. He's made a lot of money out of Brexit already because he had stocks and shares that he sold during the referendum, when it was very, very shortly before the result came in. And he's just a self-serving toff elite, and he doesn't give a damn about the will of the people. And the sooner people wake up and realise that, the better. Although, to be fair, the deed is done, it is too late, and of course him and all his Brexiteer mates lied through their teeth, because I think they knew it was the only way they could win. they couldn't win otherwise if they didn't do that. It was their only hope of getting the result they wanted. But anyway, so yeah, I thought I'd touch upon that. Oh, and I will say for all my gambling subscribers, for any of you that watch this, I am hoping to go to Real Fruit soon. As I said in the description of my last video, the Western session, hopefully either sometime in October. I might go in October, I might go in November, but I'm going to Alton Towers in October for the Scarefest, which should be really fun, which I'm really looking forward to. Riding the Wicker Man. Oh yes, because roller coasters is another big passion of mine. I absolutely love roller coasters. I think there's no feeling like it in the world. The feeling I get from coasters, there's nothing else that can give me that feeling. I might try and do a video there if I can. Maybe, play a bit of the Fruities, do a bit of filming maybe. I'm planning on doing some other kind of filming of some sort, but I'll see about that when I get there. But yeah, so I am planning to go to Real Fruits and hopefully get enough footage to make a few decent videos at least. A few long sessions would be really good. So, yeah, that's, so anyway, I think that concludes my talk really, because I've been talking for almost an hour now. I can't think of anything else to really say particularly, but what I will say is if anyone has any questions about what I've talked about, if you'd thanks for watching and listening, anyone that has, and I hope you've enjoyed listening, and I hope it's been, if you've learned something from this video, or it's helped you in any way, or you've just enjoyed it, then great. I'm really pleased. But yeah, as I say, if you've got any questions, if there's anything you want to ask me about what I've said, or you want to say anything, or you want me to talk about something in particular more, then let me know, and I'll answer any questions you've got. Well, I'll try if I can. And as I said, if you want to know about anything more specific, ask me and I'll see what I can do. So anyway, yeah, please like and subscribe, and please like, comment and subscribe and share around your social media and whatnot. As I say, I'd like to do more videos on autism actually in the future, which, what I'd like to do is see if I can get as many of my friends with autism as possible to give their story. So basically I'll do a video of them sharing life experiences with autism and talking about it, and I think that would be a good video. So so yeah, as I say, yeah. So yeah, just before I go, again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Take care. Cheers.